pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We are on.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Annie. Okay, the meeting's been called to order at 7:04. And we'll proceed with the roll call. Michelle?
Here.
Annie?
Here.
Brett?
Here.
Justin? Here. And Tim?
Here.
I'd like to adopt the agenda. Well, I'd like to think in addition to the agenda, if I could. Attorney-client privilege executive session at the end, please. Other continuing business.
How long of the
10 minutes,
10 minutes?
5 minutes. All right, I'd like to move to approve with the addition of the executive session.
I'll second.
Okay, a motion to add attorney-client privilege to the executive session after employee handbook for 5 minutes by Tim, seconded by Annie.
Well, we're moving to adopt the agenda with that addition.
Yes, that's where we're going, right?
Yeah.
Okay, those in favor? Okay,
I'll move to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
okay, we have a motion to approve the minutes by Brett and seconded by Annie. Any further discussion? Those in favor?
You vote.
Those opposed?
Abstain since I was there.
I'll move to approve appropriation ordinance 1505.
Is this just a summary on the front?
Yeah, because I couldn't find her format that she used,
That's
so
all right.
that's,
I mean, I know we need to know where they're coming from, but that's kind of nice too.
Okay,
so did you
We-
look at that? thing?
we adopted the agenda, but did we approve the minutes too?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
I do like that.
okay. Okay. Okay, all right,
I move to approve appropriation order 1505.
Brett already did.
Oh, sorry. I second that.
And Tim already seconded.
Oh, then we're voting.
okay.
Where you at? Come on, Perry.
I'm writing, I can't write as fast as you guys are thinking, that's for sure.
Michelle and I can fight over fourth and fifth.
Okay.
Sorry, apparently I was listening.
Motion made to approve appropriation ordinance 1505 by Brett, seconded by Tim. Any further discussion? Okay, roll call vote. Michelle,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Brett,
Yes.
Tim. I'm sorry, Justin,
Yes.
and now Tim.
I still say yes.
Okay.
I think it would skip you.
Thank you.
Okay, any public comments at this time? None. Okay, I will interject one because Dolly was here a few minutes ago. She pulled me off the side, said that she was not feeling well, that she was leaving, and asked that I address that sidewalk in front of the cafe. And I went across the street and looked at it, and it does need some repair. So I'm gonna take it upon myself to get some quick setting concrete, not the rocks and stuff, but just smooth stuff. And I'll clean that out and get it smoothed off. And that would be a temporary fix until we can get.
Is it the sidewalk itself or the curb?
It's the sidewalk.
Okay.
While you're over there, grab a can of spray paint and spray over there by the handicap ramp.
I like the way she
Because
thinks.
people, I used to do it,
Yeah.
but I don't work over there in the store anymore, so I really just spray on both sides so people see it, because otherwise they're walking along and they don't see that it's a dip there.
I see what you're saying.
What color paint did you use, Julie? in the
I
past?
just use whatever the city guys gave
Is
me.
it
orange
is it
or
yellow supposed to be the appropriate warning for that
Yeah,
sort of thing?
Any color would do, because
Whatever's
otherwise it's got to dry and
Bright
you're not-
yellows.
I think it is.
You
Okay.
in cans that you hold upside down and you spray that way.
I don't care where we get it. I mean, I don't care what
These
kind
guys
of
have
can
them in
it is.
that
They have it over here at the lumberyard.
You know,
Okay.
Yeah, I want to say they've got like orange. Well, I've seen that. I think they've got yellow too.
I believe we have a yellow pen actually on the like.
The wall one of these days.
Would you check on that for me, Robin? I know you're out there pretty much every day. And then if we got some, I won't have to buy it, but if you don't, I'll go buy some and I'll get the concrete. I will try to get somebody to do that because I'm not gonna be here for a week. So see if we can find somebody prior to me coming back. Okay? All right. Department reports. Lisa, please, you're up.
Well, and I'm gonna kind of add some things on behalf of Stephanie because she sent me a message, but the treasurer's report, if you have any questions regarding it, it's there in your packet. Stephanie left a note as far as banking and credit card. These need to be reflected in the minutes that the council removed her as an approved signer on the bank account. But then for the credit card for the city, it has to reflect that she's removed and then either authorize me or someone for the credit card that she uses for things here in the office.
Does it take a motion, Todd?
Yeah, I mean, the
Yeah.
bank will request that, so.
Yeah, because I have to read it.
Then I move that we authorize Lisa to fill in for the interim as the credit card.
Let's talk about that for a second. Are we getting, the first thing is to get Stephanie off.
They've
Right.
already done that, right? Haven't they?
No,
Okay. I understood.
no, you'll need a motion to remove her as an authorized signer,
Okay.
and then you'll need a motion to remove her as an authorized signer on the credit card and appoint, authorize someone.
And I was planning on appointing Lisa as a temporary clerk until we get the position filled. Which I can do that as her being, even though she's the treasurer, as long as the appointment is known to be temporary and not permanent.
I'm not sure about that.
It was.
If because I called the league and inquired, just basically the city has to have a clerk. You know, but the clerk and the treasurer can't be the same position.
The clerk cannot be the treasurer, but the treasurer can fill in for the clerk as needed.
Well, they could you,
You can't duplicate certain duties.
well, but it's.
She can't do
it's-
two
I
certain.
can't have two appointments.
Not, well, I mean, that's different. That's an incompatibility of office
Right.
question, but that's not. I think you can be, I don't think it's an incompatibility.
No, she wasn't treasurer. Teresa wasn't today.
But I think right now you need to
She
be,
never worked.
what maybe we need to do is put you as assistant city clerk. And I'll check to see if there's another position while you make those
Okay.
In the
motions.
meantime, I move that we remove Stephanie as the signer for the checks.
Like effective the last day she works, or like right now. How does that work? Does it matter?
We can make it effective tomorrow if you want to.
I just don't know. That won't mess her up, right?
No, I mean, we've got, as far as at the bank, there's enough authorized signers that,
Okay, that's what I'm.
Yeah.
I don't want to screw her up in the last 3 days. Or,
Yeah.
You know,
So
Week she's
effective today.
So good. Do you want to do all three at the same time?
I thought that they had to be separate.
I had that feeling too.
Well,
No, I think you can do it.
I have an issue though. I'm gonna be out of town. You're gonna be out of
For a
town.
week. Mhm.
So, and you need 3 signers. That means you and you.
Teresa, she's still.
no, she's
Nope.
no longer a signer.
But do we have a pressing need for a check to be signed in the next 7 days?
Well,
well, payroll will come out
Payroll.
a week from Friday.
A week from Friday. So
Right. I didn't know when all of
Yeah.
your absences would occur, so.
I'll be back Monday because I have a meeting here Monday morning.
I'll be back Monday.
It's
Okay.
just-
I don't know. I would say remove her on her last day.
Last day, which
Just
is
as kind of insurance, just in case we need to.
true.
Close of business
Right, yeah.
Friday the 17th.
Then I withdraw the motion and make a new motion to remove her as the signer for the checks, as well as the signer for the credit card, effective on her last day, which is
March 7th.
March 17th.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion to remove Stephanie as a signer for our checks and a credit card authorized user effective close of business on the 17th of March, which is her official last day, by Tim, seconded by Michelle. Any further discussion? Those in favor? Okay, motion passes. What was the third thing? Because we only
The
did two.
appointment of the
Okay,
clerk.
then Todd's looking at it. Okay. From what I read when she first got appointed, she could fill in for the clerk is what I had read, but she can't have the title of clerk and treasurer at the same time. She can't do them both at the same time, full time, basically. Like Todd said, she can't have those two appointments.
Can she be appointed on an interim basis, even if it's not?
Well,
Yes.
that's what
I mean,
that's what I'm thinking.
the league said that.
Okay,
The league did say that.
I would think that's what we'd be doing.
Yeah, that was
And they
my
said
that
the
was
whole
my
purpose
plan.
is like, you know, you test the minutes, or if an ordinance would, you know, come about, you have to have the city clerk to attest to that.
Mhm.
So, I mean, it's not a whole lot of activity, but if you don't have one, that's when you'll need one.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah.
So, 1309, Assistant City Clerk, it says, whenever a vacancy occurs in the position of City Clerk and the city is without a person appointed, confirmed, or qualified to hold that office, the Assistant City Clerk shall become the acting City Clerk and fill the duties of that office. So if you appoint her now as the Assistant City Clerk and Stephanie leaves, you'll be automatically vested with
So it
as
doesn't,
an acting city clerk.
it doesn't get into the detail of stating that the assistant city clerk cannot also be the treasurer.
I move to appoint Lisa as assistant city clerk.
I second that motion to utilize the loophole.
Okay, we have a motion to appoint Lisa as the assistant city clerk, and seconded by, or the motion was by Justin, seconded by Tim. Any further discussion? Those in favor?
Yeah.
Okay,
Now,
that
by
motion
making her
passes
clerk, does
by-
that automatically entitle her to being the signer of checks as well as credit clerk? Okay, then let's take this step as well.
Well, I'm already on as a signer,
Okay.
Yeah,
But
but
we
I
need to
guess
get
it
you on
would
that.
be on the credit
I
card,
was
yeah.
gonna say, who owns the
Okay.
signer on the credit card, and
Just Stephanie.
just
on-
Stephanie.
Yeah,
she's the only
credit cards are all
person we
in-
have for that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the guys, well, I know Mike does. They all have their individual cards.
Mhm.
I mean, just like if you and Marcia have, you have a credit card and Marcia has a
Sure.
credit card, so.
So then I move that effective March 18th, Lisa be
An authorized user,
an authorized, that's the word, of the credit card,
the city's credit card.
city's credit card.
Second.
Okay, motion to authorize Lisa to be an authorized user on the city's credit card effective March 18th by Tim, seconded by Justin. I just have one question. Is that good enough?
I think it should be.
Okay, all right. It just didn't seem like everything was in order. I was just curious. Okay, any further discussion? Those in favor? Okay, motion passes 5-0.
And we get to do all this all
Yeah, I
over
have
again when we
this,
find a clerk.
Well, but we might as well keep it the legal way, right?
You're right, you're right. No.
Just as soon as you don't do it legally,
I think I could have appointed her to the assistant clerk without going through the motions.
No, because
We they still,
the other thing I
you
was
can
thinking
let them know,
about that.
but then they have to
Okay,
do
we
it.
have this.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh,
We're
well,
done.
okay, okay. I'm
you
with
can make a
Yeah,
recommendation.
Yes, yes,
but
yes.
then the council has to
Okay.
approve it.
All right. Okay,
think
Stephanie,
that's all.
Stephanie, you're up.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, in Stephanie's place, I'm gonna ask Robin if she can fill the council in on what she's been up to the last 2 weeks.
I've just been cutting grass, And picking up trash, a lot of trash out of
Get it ready for the opening day, right?
That's right,
Okay, thank you.
Do you have a chainsaw yet?
yes.
You do. Gas or electric?
Gas. And I've used it once, but it's been a slow process for me because it makes me a little nervous, but just gotta be aware and careful with it.
You have plenty of safety glasses, right?
I do.
Please don't ever operate it without them.
I will never operate it without it. I'm worried about a limb. No,
Okay,
it's going good.
I think Annie's got some good information for us for the park update.
And actually I can knock out the park sidewalk and drain at the bottom too. I'm continuing. I guess for events wise, we're doing bingo in 2 weeks. So March 24th at 6:30. The doors open at 5:30. We are not going to have kids bingo by itself this time, so don't get upset. But kids will still play free and have their own prizes. We'll see how it goes this time around. As long as they're not interrupting gameplay all night long, we'll be good. But usually they're pretty good kids. So
Is it the senior center?
at the senior center,
Okay.
and we'll have another one. I think it's May 19th. Ooh, I think I gave her the wrong date. Anyway, so we're planning 2 for now, but we'll try to throw another couple in there for the year. What else? I know people have been bringing it up, so I'm going to say June 10th is Symphony in the Flint Hills, and we will have roughly 7,000 people driving straight through Eskridge. And we do have plans brewing right now. So we're hoping to do a farmer's market. I'm hoping to do at least 2 or 3 live music bands in the bandstand. And I don't know, maybe some food. We don't have any more than that. We meet tomorrow, so I don't have the details. But obviously we're still working on that stuff right now. But it has been asked about a couple times now, so I just wanted to say that.
What is the date on that?
June 10th.
First, it's a Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay.
And people come from early in the morning till the evening, I guess. So, okay. And then I did get the full bid for the park sidewalk and the drainage and the concrete that we have to put into. So Mike got us a quote from Bob Logan, which includes the drainage, which is the big pipe, which is, I think they're going to do plastic, which will last long after we're all dead, is what Mike says.
Do we have that quote in our packet?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't send it in.
And that's okay. I just wondered.
I'll tell you right now.
Thought maybe I missed it. Okay.
Okay, so for Bob, he quoted us 11,300. I think they both tried to quote on the high end, so hopefully we don't pass this number. And that includes that drainage.
And that's culvert.
Yeah, that's for the
Installed or purchased?
that's the whole shebang. Installed, yeah. And then JB Masters is going to do some concrete work. He has to connect the existing concrete to that culvert too. And he quoted us on the high end $5,000, but he thinks probably $4,000. And then the sidewalk itself is $14,850.
Same people doing that side of the sidewalk.
Yeah,
that
the
done other
Vaders.
3.
Yeah. And then
Back to JB, what was that for? I just was.
he's
trying to
doing
make
the, okay, so there's like existing concrete there already. He's
Okay.
gonna pour to connect it to the tube basically,
Okay,
because it's a square.
okay,
So we have to do a little more work to get them together.
okay.
And the grand total for that is $31,150 if you don't want to do the math. And right now in our 1% sales tax, we have $43,498. So we are a good 12,000 under.
Now, how much was Debater's bid again, please?
$14,850.
$850. Okay.
I don't know if I can make a motion on this, but you guys are good with that. That does stay under the 1%.
Do we have a starting date if they go with this?
I don't, because we're working with 3 different groups. It's looking at spring, good weather, and I think JB has to go first, and his won't be probably till May. We are going to obviously balance around all this other stuff. I can only do so much with the construction guys sometimes. So
Don't you have the
wish I did. It's like,
1% sales tax is for the curbs and gutters.
no, it's parks and sidewalks and curb.
Okay.
So it is generically park, but we are doing it for sidewalks. I'm not gonna start spending in other places at this point. So.
No, not yet.
We're focused on sidewalks. I want sidewalks in town too. But yeah, if you guys are good with that, we're ready to.
I take it that you're taking the ball and running with it to get this project completed?
Yeah.
Yes or no? Okay.
Yeah.
And with that in mind, can you kind of put a little pressure on them, see if they can get it done before June 10th?
I'll try to see what I can
You know what
do.
I'm saying? If-
Yeah.
If we approved it tonight, for example, we want them to get it started as soon as we can. I realize weather's going to make a difference as well as their scheduling.
Yeah. I know. I'm pretty sure Bob can work pretty quick. JB might be the one we're waiting on, and then I think
Debaters-
Devader had openings at the beginning. It really depends on his schedule.
Right,
I guess.
right.
We can ask again. I'm sure we will. Once we
Okay.
get it. But yeah.
Okay.
It's one at a time.
I'd be all
basically.
for it if we can, especially if we can get it in before the symphony shows up.
That would be lovely. Yes.
Yes.
It'll be muddy, but it'll be lovely. But we'll work on it. Yeah. As long as you guys are good with seeding right after that.
We have to see last year still,
Yeah. So we have some work to
and the year
do.
before.
Hey, that's growing in now.
Does anybody have any
Not
comments
grass.
about this project or a future one that might involve the city sales tax for sidewalks?
Yeah, if you guys have certain areas that you want us to focus on, we're tackling the outside of the park, and then I do have another sidewalk that runs inside, so it's actually handicap accessible all the way to the memorial, both sides. But I think we can get that done by next year, and then we don't need anything else there.
Or if somebody has in mind a project for the future that they want done, let's get it out there now so
Yeah.
that we can start working towards that one as well.
I think getting the bathroom to where it's usable would be.
Excellent.
I
Yeah,
think that's.
but I don't know if we can use
We
that
got
tax money for
$120,000
that.
for that.
I don't think we can use
I
that
can buy
tax
it right
money for
now.
that.
Yeah,
At the park.
we do.
However,
What?
I think Holly Boyce might be able to help us.
Maybe.
Let me work on that grant.
All right.
Because
Yeah.
there is a parks grant available of some sort. I don't know
Through
the
what?
full, for parks, for city parks. I don't know the full extent of what it's for, but I know that there's one out there for Wabunsee County.
Is there?
And right now, you met with Stephanie.
Yeah.
But you haven't met Holly Boyce yet, have you?
No.
But you met Holly Boyce last week, right?
Yeah.
Voice?
Yes, BOICE. I have her number at home.
Is she the grant writer?
Yes, paid for by the Flint Hills Regional Council, which we are members of.
Do you know what that park grant's through?
No, she's got so many of them, I don't remember. I didn't bring any of my notes from that meeting.
Okay.
But she did mention that there was money available for parks. There's money available for, I believe she said sidewalks as well, didn't she, Brett?
Yes.
There's money available for housing, which I've known about the housing.
And childcare.
And childcare, that's a
Facility.
big one that we cannot possibly meet the deadline for getting any housing in 2023.
That won't happen.
The deadline is May 1st to get your application in, but there's no way we can to even get the application going. And she's aware of that. She says, however, if we have people that want to run a daycare, then we've got time for next year's.
I
Okay.
think housing was December 31st.
Well, we're
I don't
talking,
know.
we're talking, when I said May 1st, I'm talking the daycare,
Oh, okay.
the daycare facility, which this community needs badly.
Mm-hmm.
Harvey needs it badly. Dover needs it badly. There's probably people at the lake that can use it as well. We could be a perfect hub for that. But it takes a 401k organization to get it. And then they have money to acquire the location. They have money to pay for the renovation. They have money to train and hire people to run it. And then after that, basically, whoever owns that business will be responsible for hiring employees and keeping that thing going at that point. That's just
So a nonprofit
basic.
would have to be formed before
Yes,
the
yes,
grant?
yes. And then on top of that, you have to have another nonprofit that recommends you for that project. So I'm sure we have some nonprofits here in town. Park Board probably is a nonprofit, are they not?
We are not that
Huh?
kind of a nonprofit, no.
Okay, all right.
We're under a foundation.
Todd works for free. He's nonprofit. We can get him to
Do now.
do it. But
I
anyway,
want to say that.
I
the
knew
board
there was
is
a reason why we
501c3.
the school board.
No,
the
the
pool board.
pool
The
board.
pool board, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm sure we can get them, but like I said, there's not enough time to even begin the process of getting a location and a site, a site to remodel and things of this nature. Also along that same line, if I may throw this in there, there's a business in Emporia that wants to put a satellite office here in Eskridge. And it's Crosswinds. You ever heard of them?
Yeah.
You guys remember, they want to put a satellite office here in Eskridge, so they're looking for either a house or an area in the downtown area, which is what they prefer. But if they went to a house, we have to approve it getting rezoned for their type of business. I don't think that'd be a problem to do that.
What is the county has to do that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think it's,
Probably would with our back.
is it mental health or is it?
Yes, mental health.
Oh, okay.
Selling the IGA building.
Believe me, it crossed my mind. And the IGA building crossed my mind for the daycare too.
Yeah.
The only thing I could,
People will never make the money back on that to pay for it.
they don't have to make the money back. That's the whole thing. It's free money.
Sometimes. I don't trust those like grant things as easily. I don't know. I guess it
Yeah.
depends on where that park money's
I tell you
coming
what,
from.
it's at least free to find out if it's free, right?
It's also paperwork until your hands
Go like
turn into
this.
claws.
Okay, anyway, I'm sorry, but I'm getting off the agenda.
Mine
So,
hasn't been voted on yet.
we were talking about, the sidewalk at the
And the
park.
culvert.
A bid by Bob Logan for 11.3,
Well,
installed JB Masters upwards to 5,000 and Debaters Concrete at 14,850. So any thoughts, any more discussion on this?
Move to approve 31,150 for the totality of the project.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the bid for the sidewalk on the north end of the park from Bob Logan, JB Masters, and Debaters Concrete for
150.
Does need to put in that it's being used out of the.
1%. Yeah, from the
Yes.
1% fund.
To be paid for.
Yes, to be paid for out of city sales tax.
Yes.
Any further discussion on this motion? Those in favor? It passes. I will find out more about sidewalks, because if we can get more money for sidewalks without using our city sales tax for sidewalks, we must take advantage of that grant as well, okay? It's not on here, but, no, I guess it is. All right. No purchase request or work orders to review, new city business, Wild Olives building permit.
Does anybody have that in their
Well,
packet? 'Cause
Stephanie said this was just an extension of time.
Yeah,
It's,
she forwarded by email. You can look at it if you want. If I can find it.
I saw it online, but-
21.
okay, see, she just told me they needed an extension of time.
My question is, doesn't this open up the contract again for negotiation? If you're
Property,
changing,
the rental contract,
Yeah.
I mean? I don't know, is that what that
Well,
is?
they own the building, remember?
Right, right,
It's the land around it that's the lease. So, I mean,
I know, that's why I was asking if that's. And the only thing that I'm getting at is we talked one time about how we didn't want them allowing people to be parking and camping overnight there. But it's in the contract that she can do it. This would be an opportunity to correct that. If this opens that door.
Do we not have anything in the contract which gives us the right to review the contract as it sits? And
I don't know. I don't have the contract in front of me, so.
The 10-year contract
Yes.
time is for
It's a 20-year
It's a 20-year
contract.
contract.
20?
I believe
Yes.
so. I can go get it if you want me to.
would you please?
And I think the fee goes down this year. Was this the Julie Bond thing?
Yes.
Yeah. The fee goes up, the rental goes up every 5 years, doesn't it? I think it does. Is that what you're saying?
I will say currently it only allows her to have a camper there for less than 72 hours. So she cannot have it there.
How many campers does it state that? Do you know? I do.
I do not know that.
Well, this looks
But I
to
have,
be-
I remember looking it up and I'm pretty confident it was no more than 72 hours.
This looks to be a structure permit. This was already approved.
That's what she's wanting an extension on.
Oh,
It was approved in 21.
but they're gonna put it, they're talking about putting a 20 by 20 concrete slab for handicap access.
Yeah.
And they've done that.
And they've done that.
And they've
What
got
about the
one,
two?
they've got one of the two.
Okay, so this wouldn't necessarily be the time to revisit the contract. It would be either approve the extension for this permit in front of you, or
Well, I'm
Nice,
looking at
yeah.
that date. It says it's for 20 years, but it says then 2000. Anyway,
Advantage us if it does, huh?
period of 20 years. Yeah, it's just.
Where's Robin?
While Todd's looking that up, I want to say that I went out there because I got a call about some electric lines that are down at the lake. And the electric lines are at that property in that concrete slab just south of the entrance to the Wild Olives. And I need to know if anybody knows, is that her responsibility or is that ours?
I think
I looked at it and I don't think it's electrical lines. I think it's just lines that connected the old lights
I
that
think
lit
they've
up
been down for quite some
Yeah.
time.
the area. Those have been sagging for a few years.
One of the
now.
poles out there has a meter on it and it's active.
Is it?
well, I think the
Not
lot-
necessarily the pole.
Julie has a
The pole
meter
that's
and the
down?
city has a meter. Both of them have a meter in that real. Justin and I kind of reviewed those locations earlier this fall.
Okay. Tenant may not use the leased property for the purposes of storage of vehicles for more than 72 hours.
The
So the
sisters.
trailer is supposed to be the property. Said right. The cement slab located south of the building on the leased premises may be made available for the tenant to third parties for rent on an hourly or daily basis at rates approved by the city so long as its use does not unreasonably interfere with tenants' other business. City may terminate the lease as to the cement slab only by giving notice to the tenant of such termination within 30 days of any anniversary of the lease or any renewal term years. These rights may be terminated regardless of any default or other cause, and the terms of this agreement will remain in force in effect. So even if the term is 10 years or 20 years, which is an issue, the cement slab can be ended on a 30-day notice on their anniversary. So it's got to be by August 1. If you're going to do that, but that's separate from
But
this.
extending this building permit doesn't have any. There's no.
No relevance to
relevance.
the contract whatsoever.
I move to accept the extension on the building,
I'll second.
What was the building permit for?
a balcony.
To finish that second balcony.
I'll
Is it a
second.
6-month
We
extension?
already got a second.
Oh, sorry.
Back in.
I'm here.
6 months extension.
Okay, we have a
Seeing not paying attention.
motion to approve the extension for 6 months for the balcony at Wild Olives by Michelle, seconded by Tim. Further discussion? Those in favor? Okay, motion passes 5-0. I, for one, don't know if that meter pole has anything to do with the lines that are down out there, but I certainly wasn't going to step on the line or touch it to find out.
You didn't go beyond.
No.
Oh, come on.
Good, Marcia.
Where's your sense of adventure?
I had that when I was like 15. I don't have that anymore. All right, where are we at? Next thing.
Lake Moore.
We're not going to do the park sidewalk and drain, if I understood.
It's approved already.
And you already.
Eddie said pass on that one. Okay. Lake Moore bid. Okay. The only thing I know about it is that Mike told me today that the mower is replaced roughly, and this is the 4th year for that mower. Or I guess it's the beginning of the 5th year if we don't replace it this year. So the only question I have is money. Do we have the money to spend for that? The bid was like $11,000, but we had a $4,000 roughly trade-in value, so the cost was going to be around $7,000. Does anybody have that bid paperwork with them
Trying to-
tonight?
7116.99.
There you go.
Okay. Can you scan all this in on your laptop?
Yeah.
Oh, good deal.
Was that with Schwant or?
Yes, and that was also with the trade-in.
Okay.
Because it's originally what?
It was, well, there's a 10,959 for the mower itself, another 357.99 for a tilt frame kit, and then less 4,200 for the trade-in. The X-Mark Laser E series.
I did look that up online, and they were about $13,000 to $14,000 online. So we are getting the deal, and then another deal, trade-in deal.
And so what was the net cost of the city?
7116.99.
So then this would be coming out of the lake fund then, right? So
I
then,
understood.
I know I had talked to you a little bit, Lisa, about the fund or whatever,
Mhm.
because we just approved the extension. Can you explain a little bit of that you said to me about needing to watch the funds?
Well, I mean, you got 122,000 cash in the lake fund right now. Whatever minus Colby's bid is.
Oh,
57,000.
Yeah, with that new addition of 6, yeah, that would be about right.
You know, I mean, just, and I don't know, you know, you don't have a guaranteed amount that you're gonna draw in for camping fees. I'm assuming all the dock fees and barrack fees are paid. I mean, if not, it's just, I mean, and there's, you know, there's been 2,000 so far this in March that's come out of the lake fund for utilities and so forth. So
Yeah, and the gravel expenses got to come out of that.
yeah, and I don't know what that bill is. So
Does this mower get used 100% at the lake?
Mike said today that's what he indicated.
And then we had $3,000 that's over a year now for
Well,
fire
Tim had made
rings.
the motion last fall to approve 3,000 for fire rings, but I don't
Didn't spend it.
haven't
And then
spent that.
how much do you,
Dried up.
did we have a bid for like when the wall gets built, all the backfill and the sand? What's that gonna cost?
Don't recall anybody coming up for the bid for the sand.
We didn't discuss that.
We talked to Mike when we were out there at the lake.
Yes, we did, but I don't
Asked
think
him
it
to
happened
look
out
for
here.
something,
Yeah.
you know, and it's not necessarily sand, just fill, whatever it may be,
Right.
and then sand on top. I haven't heard back from him. We also told him that whatever is going on with that corner of the sidewalk at the bait house,
Mm-hmm.
if that needs to be mud, whatever the correct way is to repair that, now's the time to do it before that wall gets put in. Asked him to look into that also.
Cause that wall should be starting within a month. I mean, they said early April, so that doesn't give it a lot of time for that. And then we also were talking about the electric gate, that we thought that we liked that idea, and we haven't even got a bid for that yet. And I know it should have been done prior to the beginning of this season, but are we still wanting to do that and move forward with it?
I think that was an idea that we were talking about, but not really 100% got backing on it either. It was just an idea.
It was my impression that there was backing for it.
Well, I'm the one I think that suggested the electric gate.
No, I looked it up.
It sounded like a good idea, but I
Original.
don't know that we have funds.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
you're
I
going
think
through them pretty quick.
Yeah,
Well, we are doing a large project this year.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
keep in mind
One
that
that's been
sometimes
waiting.
other projects will get kicked down the
Right.
road.
Well-
One that's been waiting years.
Yeah, and that's we all agree that that's very important. We need to
And
go
I think
first.
taking care of jacking up the bait shop is real
Urgent.
important.
Yeah, but that's
More important than a
just having
gate.
an electric gate.
I would agree. We can't afford to have the bait shop wash into the lake.
Nope.
So
Or in
then
the
I
corner.
guess we need to get a bid for that mud jacking and a bid for the sand and the fill so that we know what the price tag is for all of that. And it needs to be done within the month.
I don't know
Actually
who-
by next meeting, because if Coldy's start at the beginning of April, then you're not having any time to do anything. So I
don't
mean
know who we
somebody
would
needs
talk
to pick
to
up the
about-
ball in the slack here to figure all of that out so that we know what the price tag is.
I don't know if
some
we
mud
need
jackers
mud
in
jacking.
Topeka too, but not
We,
around
we
here.
might just need Colby's pump truck and then stick the hose up underneath there and squirt concrete in there. I don't know. I don't even know who we would ask to say what's the best way to fix this problem. I mean, we might.
I think we should call them mud jacking company. There's several of them in Topeka. I'd hate to just go out there and just pump a bunch of concrete out there and not know what we're doing and it fall apart within a year.
I wonder if JB Masters or if Colby would know what to do about it.
Possibility. Would you like to take the bull by the horns, Tim, and tackle that?
I'll call those guys and I guess I'll look up some mud jackers if anybody has any recommendations of mud jackers.
I only know one in Kansas City, so I don't think that's.
Well, I know some in Topeka years and years ago when I was in a trash hauling business, worked with them. I'd be darned if I remember their names right now, but when I get back from my little trip, then I'll get with you and see where you're at, okay? And then maybe I can find out tonight before too late. I can give you a call.
I don't think that's going to empty our lake fund out, and I think it's probably a necessary investment for continued maintenance. I'm in favor. I don't know what everybody else. I mean, bringing it back to what we were actually discussing, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I just brought that up because she
No,
said
I
that
get
we're
that
watching
too,
the
yeah.
lake fund and we have all this stuff coming
Yeah.
out. So we need to be on the same page before.
Well, I subtracted
Money is
several of those
spent,
things,
so-
and we still had about 50,000 after everybody threw out numbers. So
Before you head out, we asked Mike if he
Before that cuts into employee benefits and everything
look
else is
at
gonna be
what we
taken
need
out
to
for the
do
rest of it.
underneath the bait
10
house.
months.
I have to send him
years.
a text because I'm not gonna.
well, and I don't know what the rest of the year looks like.
Okay. And also
But we also
about
have incoming
the
as well.
backfill.
So.
I mean, we had to amend the budget last year, so I don't want to have to do that again.
Well, we've put these things on notes before when we could spread them out, but that's a lot easier to sell at like 4% interest than like now, which is probably 8, maybe even 9. I don't even know
Yeah,
what the bank would charge for
I need
Banks are
to
all
return
crashing.
this.
this. So
I can
I'm
build them.
a lot less apt to try to do that unless it's an absolute must to, split that up or whatever. So.
So I guess just have that on the agenda so that we know all those bids at the next meeting.
Have what on the agenda for next meeting?
The mud jacking estimate.
Bids for the mud jacking estimate, sand and
Sand
backfill.
and backfill.
Okay.
We still don't have our buoys placed or put either, and the beginning of the season's here again.
Yeah, that's where I was at. But
What do you say?
We're going on an adventure here. How about the mower? On the agenda.
This tied into the mower because of the fund.
Because
I
of
was
the fund,
making
yeah.
sure that there was money there in
Yeah.
the fund.
Yeah.
So I'll second Annie.
Oh, I didn't move.
We
I
can-
moved to approve the lawnmower bid.
You already did.
Did I?
Yes.
I don't think I
Yeah,
did.
yeah, you did.
Yes, you
Yeah,
did.
No,
I
the
heard
boss
That's
said
the
you didn't.
recorder right there, and
No,
she's
she
saying,
just-
I just
she-
said I'm
her
on
opinion
board.
was
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
You make a
now-
motion. Sheesh.
So who made the motion?
Well, I've officially made
Okay.
the motion
And
now.
I've officially seconded.
Just a sec. My memory's getting bad right now, Michelle. You're not helping me at all.
Okay, motion by
Starting to
Annie to
question my
accept
own
the
sanity.
mower bid for $71,1699, seconded by Brad. Any further discussion? Those in favor? Passes. Motion passes.
I'm losing it, but I didn't think it was that bad.
I mean, if
I've
we
lost
really got in
mine,
a
so
bind
I
as
wanted
far
to
as
cut me.
our budgetary authority,
I'm with
could we just borrow temporarily from the lake reserve and pay it back the next year, in which we would have future budget authority?
Well, I think we should.
'Cause I know it's a set aside right now.
Yeah. Well, yeah. However, I think we still got $45,000 to play with at some point here, even by getting
I mean, your
everything done
budget
that we've
authority
talked
is
about.
130 for this year.
Yeah.
So
But I
we-
mean, we've got contract obligations.
yeah,
True.
with all the obligations we've got out there, I think we still have 45,000 roughly left of what were allotted.
Yeah.
Now, if we find out that the bid for a electric fence or electric gate out there is $80,000, obviously we either don't get it this year or we come to that decision: do we borrow money to get it out?
It was like 2 last year when I looked it up.
2 what?
1,000.
Just for a gate?
Mm-hmm.
It's controlled
Mechanical
inside.
parts.
Inside.
You already have the gate, so it's just the parts to make it.
Well, shoot, I don't think we need to worry about that at this point. You just got to keep the overall budget in the back of our mind. Keep
And
running,
cash. Keep the cash in mind, not the budget.
a running tally of all that stuff that we're spending. Okay. So we're done with the lake mower, and we're done with any discussion because it's not on the agenda for the lake at this point anymore. Let's move on. 111 South Locust. Who wants to talk about that?
Becky's not here, and then he's not here either. So do we?
Was this the meeting he was supposed to come back and
Yes,
say
it
this, or
was.
was it the next one?
Mm-hmm.
We gave him
Mr.
2 weeks and we gave the other one
He's the guy
Mr.
that
Knight?
until
Yeah.
Yep.
the last.
Mr. Knight.
But we
That was
don't
the fun
know.
Part of the meeting to watch.
And the big dumpster's gone.
Yeah,
that
I
was
noticed
great.
that
That's a
too.
great one, Tim.
It was interesting.
Another dumpster's in town got delivered to your old house. Did it get delivered there by mistake? Because I saw that dumpster rolling in town. And I thought, oh, they emptied that dumpster. They're bringing it back. But then they dropped it off over there.
Yeah, I saw it there too.
Oh no, he swore to God he was going to go clean that dumpster out, and not pay for it.
You guys have got, the officer isn't here to give you an update, so you don't have any
Yeah.
information to base a decision on, so.
Ready to buy it?
No, I didn't even
I've
think about
driven
that.
by that place a
Yeah.
couple of times. Once immediately after gravel was put in the driveway
I did see the gravel.
to make
I
sure.
walked by, I guess. Yeah.
And I looked at the porch that he
Yeah,
beefed up a little bit.
I think that's
The issue that Becky had was still all the brush that was growing up around the last time, which I still don't think is cut.
I thought the issue was getting that junk hauled off his property.
Well,
And he-
that's the goal.
and he couldn't do it because the alleyway was so muddy they couldn't get a truck.
You're
down.
talking about the wrong place.
KC 9. Yeah,
Casey-
no. Oh, no,
He's
that's,
talking
yeah,
about the wrong place.
just kidding.
Casey had most everything already hauled off at the last meeting, including the hot tub that was in the dumpster across the street. Becky's main concern then was the boarding up of the window still, so that wildlife couldn't get in, and then the brush that was growing up all over he needed to trim and cut down.
And she was going to walk through again with him.
Yes.
Yeah, well, she's not here, so I personally didn't walk up that house and check things out, but from the
Well,
road.
you need an official motion to continue the hearing to the next regular meeting.
I'll move to continue it.
on.
We have a tie to move to
Tag, you're
continue on. Do we have a tie to second it?
I second it.
All right,
Whose motion are you taking?
I'm taking Brett's. What were you gonna say, Todd?
I was gonna say Tim one, but that's fine.
And then Michelle seconded.
Yes. Any further
Continue.
discussion on continuing 111 Locust to the 27th of March meeting? It
Should
doesn't,
someone call Mr. Knight and say, you need to be here?
No, you can designate that with the,
Or weeks to do what he.
but the city officer needs to give some notice to him.
Mhm.
So that's the direction of the council. She needs to give him notice, and it's now to be heard March, whatever, 27th. If you do.
I move to continue to the next meeting. Did we just do that?
Yeah, I don't know if you voted. Did you vote?
Not yet.
we haven't voted.
Yeah.
We asked for further discussions where we're at. We're in further discussion. mode here.
I think that's blooming.
Okay, I'll get with Becky to get that taken care of so that she sends him notice that he has to be here. Does he have to be here? Or we just need to make a decision on that day.
I think it benefits him to be here.
I don't think he needs to be here if he's designated he's supposed to be here to address it, and Becky's here and says it's not done, and you guys decide to move forward with the payment. It's a done deal. So he needs to be here, or else you guys can do whatever you want.
Okay.
Is it him that needs to be here, or is it Linda? It's not his property.
So he was here before, so
He's the
if,
one
if
that
he's
we've
not
been
good
talking
enough,
to.
if he's not good enough for
Well,
you
last
guys,
was the meeting was the first one that he was by himself. She was at the other one.
well, again, if you guys feel like he can't represent the interests of the landowners, then you need to notify the landowner too. So both of them need to be notified.
I'll get with Becky and take care of it. Those in favor? Motion passes. All right, next up, employee handbook. Everybody's got a copy of the employee handbook. You have a copy of the old one and a copy of the one that has the suggested changes to it.
It's on my phone. I don't have a copy of that suggested one, but
I never got a copy of that.
it was emailed. Do you remember? Yeah,
Didn't get
that's
it.
where we're at.
It should be in your inbox if you haven't picked it up already.
It was emailed
It was emailed before last meeting,
by who?
Terry.
I emailed to everybody.
Highlighted and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look good to me.
It did look good to me.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to discuss. We'll go over it.
Oh, boy.
Seriously. Are you seriously?
Yeah, because he changed maternity leave and we didn't even discuss that.
Oh, that's right. We didn't do
So.
that.
That's because somebody wanted to get out of here because we're getting late. We didn't get through the whole thing.
You put a 2-hour cap on our work sessions, so I was adhering to that.
I always suggested 2 hours work caps on the work sessions. I don't want to spend 5 hours at a work session.
I guess I didn't read it as closely as I thought. They
Well,
changed
I
that
almost
maternity
stopped and then I scrolled down a little further and he changed the maternity leave policy to not be in there anymore, basically.
Why
Oh,
should
really?
it? It should not be.
Because we put it in last year and I think this table you'll find won't support that.
I didn't see that he took it out though. I mean, I went in there. 'cause
Those edits that he made removed the 6 weeks paid leave that we had instilled.
I was going to add to it, add other.
Oh, I thought you'd read it already because
I thought I did too, but I didn't see that. So
that's why I say we need a printed copy so that we can actually go through it.
Let me just see if I have your draft.
because I noticed that like adoptive
And
parents.
you don't even have to print the whole thing.
It was
'cause I
actually the
think-
bereavement leave policy that I was wanting to change,
What page?
but we can do that another year, I guess.
I don't have the copy of his. I just have my changes.
Yeah. But like adoptive parents aren't in there, or adoptive kids, whatever. There's a lot of factions that are left out of it.
So you guys made an adoption to this employee handbook over a year ago?
Yeah, we
I mean,
added
but-
maternity leave. I'm pretty sure you were in the meeting when we added it, or at least Marcia was,
As the mayor or as an objective citizen?
as a citizen.
Yeah, I objected to that as a citizen. I sure did.
But that's great, but we put it in.
But it's not, how come it wasn't put in the handbook then?
It was in the handbook.
It's not in here. I've got the handbook. The only
That's
thing I did is,
The one you sent out had it in there. Not me. Hold on.
There it is.
Did you find it?
Yeah.
where is it?
Well, I mean, I just found the link on in my email.
This is like page 8 or 9.
Here, it's actually on the back. I don't think it's an order on this back.
Is it V9?
I have retyped it because it actually should have
Yes. The one he sent here, it was in there.
Yes.
Okay, so this one's just on the back. Okay, Lisa put it where it was supposed to be. So she's printing us copies right now. It just wasn't in the right order. It's actually on the back 2 pages of the packet we were printing originally.
On the old,
The old one, yeah,
It's the last
it had 2 V9s, right? Is
or it had 2 V7s.
that what it was? Under
Oh, I see.
so there were 2 V7s. Now that was changed, but nothing was changed in that.
It was on the electronic version you sent us.
What was changed?
You removed the paid leave.
I did what?
The paid leave was gone.
I didn't remove paid leave.
Let me pull it up.
It's on page 9, yeah.
Do you have it up?
Parental, maternity.
Maternity and paternity leave, V9. And I want to know where it was before.
Hold on.
It was numbered differently because I mean there's some put in there, but
Well, let's compare them. Let's find out.
where's my last copy of the handbook? I even have the one from a year ago.
Susan, correct term, funeral leave or bereavement? I don't think there's any
I think
correct
it's-
term.
Typically called bereavement.
Called bereavement. We call it funeral handbook, though, that's. But if you read through it, a lot of it is outdated.
I mean, yeah, I'm in favor of letting them off for more than just the funeral. I mean, if that's the question. But
Well, there's other forms of parents that are not.
oh yeah,
For example, a domestic partner is listed. You know, let's say people live together forever and have kids and
That's
they're not
very
married.
true.
It's still your kid.
oh yeah, I'm
Well,
as far as steps and
yeah, exactly. I had Leslie look up the Western or Evergy policy. And I compared it
I don't
to
know
the
if you can
policy
see
where
this
I
with
work.
some.
And the one where I work is very similar to Evergy's.
But what you've sent
Not
us
at
in
all
the
like
email said
our
parental
cities.
leave shall
Oh, yeah.
consist
Yeah, our
of
cities
paid
is
and
very
unpaid.
lacking.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a combination.
We never
of
actually
those.
discussed this in our work session.
Right,
though. Okay.
right.
And it says leave per paragraph B9F.
Shall be granted as 6 weeks of leave per paragraph 9, B9F.
I thought that's what ours.
Which is FMLA qualified employees will be paid in the
But
order as
it
follows.
is.
First
They
with
name
Sick leave.
all the people.
sick
Yeah,
leave,
Sick leave accrued.
vacation, and
Evergy has
unpaid.
more
Well, we
people that are listed
originally had this as 6 weeks paid
eligible.
leave.
And that's what I'm saying. Where does it say that y'all had that in there? Because I
In-law
didn't change
version of all
anything
those same-
in your handbook.
Yeah, you did.
The only thing I changed, what I changed was highlighted.
Yeah.
In your copy that you sent us, and this is the original handbook, which says maternity
Evergy
leave
gonna be sold?
for child shall be granted
Yeah.
6 weeks paid leave.
Right.
So it's different than what
What's that
you've
all about?
changed
I haven't
it
heard
to.
anything
That's what I'm saying. You've made changes to that post.
Okay, all right, but it is paid leave, but it's not paid by the city.
But we're,
It's 5 years,
this is
isn't it?
what we've
Couple
elected
months,
to
right?
vote
Yes.
in, is that we pay them 6 weeks leave.
It's paid by the city. Why wouldn't
It is currently paid by the city because we.
Because
put
that's not how
this policy.
FMLA works.
We don't have FMLA.
FMLA doesn't apply to that.
I know it doesn't apply to city, but the city says that they will honor the guidelines of FMLA, right? Even though we don't, even though we're not required to do
I don't
that.
know that we do we?
Well, there's no, I mean, family medical leave isn't funded by anybody but the employer.
Okay, then why are we giving them sick leave?
Quarter power plant.
Well, because you get sick,
Well, they have a parent.
people get sick.
Yeah, they break their legs too.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Are we gonna pay them for time off? till they
Because
break their legs?
women, so here's my argument for maternity leave. Men who work for the city, who accrue sick leave, typically work a number of years before having a health condition or an injury that might require extended leave time. A person who works for the city who is female, who is in childbearing years, is unlikely to have had very much time in a job before they start having kids. And I don't mind we've talked,
This is 2023. Men can get pregnant.
thank you, Tim.
All right, no.
So it's a different end of the spectrum. Like whereas women get pregnant in their earlier years or men and women get injured or have health problems in their later years, they have time to accrue that sick leave. Even with your sick leave changes, which is great. I love that too. But as far as maternity leave,
Why
it's
wouldn't you advance it?
incredibly difficult to accrue sick leave up year after year in the early part of your marriage or when you're trying to have kids. That's my point.
I don't have a problem with that, but couldn't you not advance some sick leave?
There's nothing in the policy that
Why-
says you
why
can
could-
advance sick
why
leave, and
couldn't
I
you?
don't think
Why
you
couldn't you?
can.
Why couldn't you?
Well,
Because you have no idea how long they're going to work for.
Exactly, and that was the argument 2 years ago, was that we're gonna
And
keep.
if you want to add something that says they have to work 2 years before they can access maternity leave, which I maybe have in there, I can't remember. That's fine, but I'm not taking this out. I won't vote for it if you take it out. I'm gonna throw that out on the table.
Okay, and that's fine, and I'm just telling you how I feel about it. And I don't know how everybody else feels.
That's fine.
That's fine, and that's the whole idea of discussion anyway, to
Right.
get it out there. I feel like that's what the sick leave is for. It's for an employee to use it when they cannot come to work. And it doesn't matter if you're pregnant or if you break your leg or you break your back or you've got COVID-19. It doesn't matter. You're not capable of coming to work. That's what it's for. That's the whole idea of accruing it. That was my whole idea of continuing it past 720 hours.
No, and I see what you're trying to say, but I'm saying that it doesn't work in this situation. You
Well,
can agree with that or not.
Well, okay, that's fine. And that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to agree or disagree and come to a conclusion. But on the other hand, I remember at that meeting, one of the council members at that time said that there are employees and we want to keep them. We don't want them to leave because they can't get paid for their time off. And that was how y'all ended up voting to pay this person to be out on sick leave. Now, that got us today. Have you got your money's worth after 2 years?
She's been here longer than 2 years.
Not since that baby was born, has she? How old's the baby now?
And she worked here how long beforehand? 4 years, wasn't it? How long has she been employed?
She's been
5
here.
years. She's been here.
But we're not gonna banter back and forth on one person in this policy.
No, I'm not. That's not the
way to
point.
do
That
this.
is not the point at all. The point is employees accrue sick leave so that they can use it when they need to use it. Okay, and if she had been here 4 years before how do you know how long she was here before she had her baby?
2.5.
2.5, and 13 days a year, 12 days a year. They get a minimum of 12 days a year, vacation and sick leave. So she could have had 24 days of paid sick leave during that time that the city should not have had to pay. If you want to pay her a difference, pay her the difference.
Minus her doctor's appointments and every time she leave the office.
I agree. I understand what you're saying. I'm not saying don't let them have babies. I'm not saying that at all.
But why not make it more?
I don't understand why the city would pay them.
Well,
be-
that's
nobody
the
else
policy that
did.
we
Who
just
else-
voted
what-
in.
What other business pays their employees to be off?
Lots
have
of
it.
businesses
I want to
do
know.
that.
Give me an example.
My daughter got half pay at Walgreens when she
Half pay. She got half pay
Half pay.
at Walgreens. And she's a full-time employee or part-time? Full-time employee. Who else? Who else pays their employees to?
The country of Canada pays 6
We're
months
not
to 12
in
months.
Canada. Come on.
You want examples? That's the one I
Yes.
have on the top of my head. I
Did-
don't know company policies. What do you want me to do? Pull
Did-
them out of a hat?
What does our school do?
They have a different pay system in the school.
The different pay system?
Yeah, they have 3 months a year. They're not in their jobs, so it's a little different there.
I'm not seeing the comparison, whether they.
I don't think there is a comparison.
There's not, because they don't work 3 months out of the year.
I
it's
didn't
not-
make the comparison.
Who did?
Brett just said, "What does the school do?" That's it.
Yeah.
I didn't bring it up. I
Well,
don't think it's
The
comparable.
point, I bet Evergy doesn't pay their female employees like that.
What, 6 weeks in a block? Yeah, we
Yeah.
get it.
And they pay it out of the company's pocket.
Out of the pocket.
Never heard of such
Not
a
sick
thing.
leave at all.
I-
It is.
But
Never
Terry,
heard of
just
such-
because you haven't heard of
That
it doesn't mean it's not.
You're exactly right.
widely
You're exactly right.
accepted
You know what?
Fraternity or fraternity.
You know what? The city doesn't have the money to be paying out and stuff like that.
I disagree. If you think they got 6 months of sick leave for someone who's been here for years, then yeah, they absolutely do have that money.
From the financial side, yeah, it sucks paying
It's
it
one
out, but at
person.
the same time, it's you're holding that place for the person to come back.
Well, if we don't have to follow FMLA guidelines, why would we have to hold the place for them to come back?
We don't,
We don't.
but that
That's a really
person's
terrible
built
way
up
to
a lot
treat
of
your
experience.
employees.
I mean,
It's employee retention policy.
yeah, it's,
You give to get
yeah,
quality employees that stay longer.
yeah, that's,
You know, one thing I noticed in this policy was that at the very beginning on the first page, it says establish and promote. This is the purpose of having a manual. Establish and promote high morale by providing good working relationships.
Yeah, the same one.
Not a thing wrong with that.
Minus page one.
Great.
Not
So
a thing
why
wrong
don't
with
we
that.
have policy that backs that up?
We have a policy that's paying them by giving them sick leave, which we don't have to give them. And we're giving them sick leave to use for purposes such as that. I just disagree with it. You guys are the ones that's going to decide on it. I'm the one that's disagreeing with it. And I'm telling you my reasoning behind that. My wife worked for AT&T in Southwestern Bell her entire career. She never got paid like that when we had our kids.
Didn't it make it harder for you to have a family?
I still had 5 kids. And I used my sick leave when under FMLA guidelines because the post office had a large enough workforce where they had to follow the guidelines. And I got the exact same treatment that a female would have got when she had her baby. I was allowed to take up to 12 weeks a year off. But I had to use my own sick leave and I had to use my own vacation pay. And if I needed any more time off after that time was expended, then it was leave without pay. Either meant I took the leave without pay or I came back to work.
According to this, you couldn't use sick leave for maternity leave.
According to what we've got written now,
Yeah.
why not?
Well, because it's not an illness. It's not an incapacity. Doesn't meet the definition of sick leave. You have to change the sick leave policy to basically a paid PTO, paid time off. Something.
Yeah, I'm going to review that.
So something resulting from illness, injuries, accidents, or other physical incapacitation. Occurring either
Okay,
on
so-
or off the job.
So a woman giving birth is not a physical incapacitation.
No?
It's not. I mean,
During,
they
during
give,
the childbirth process, yeah. but
Well, that's
Not,
not,
not for
hopefully that's not 6 weeks.
Well,
6 weeks of labor.
and it's not that great afterwards either.
I don't think it's a physical incapacity.
it also says sick leave may be used for the immediate family when the presence of the employee is required. So if the employee is given birth and she's required to be at home, I would think sick leave would cover that.
Yeah.
If the language has to be changed, then it has to be changed.
Yeah, it'd have to be.
You want that?
No, that's yours. Whose is that?
That's an
Well,
extra
Lisa's,
copy.
It's a gift.
I know, I did,
Want to draw a bow on it?
You make me revise it, aren't you? Every time I get a employee policy, I gotta review it.
I don't think that was the intent.
Okay, no,
Well, if you guys are wanting to do that, like I said, you have to vote on it. But if you're gonna want to do that, then I'm gonna withdraw I'm gonna redraw this option that I put in there to pay them more sick leave per year. And drop it back down to 12 hours, like or 12 days a year instead of 13. Not gonna give them an extra bonus day.
Well, do we need another work session or what are we gonna do about this? Everybody go home and read it?
you can strike certain words of V9 and accomplish the same language as before. I mean, it's basically the highlighted words.
We're not gonna solve it right now tonight.
All right, well, that's fine. Then
And we can.
Does anybody need a copy of the original handbook, or do you all
This is
have?
what I have.
Okay,
I don't know
and
that.
like I said, the
I
the
have one.
maternity that's on the very last page,
Yeah, it's just in the wrong spot.
somewhere within changing all of the servers and stuff, the handbook got lost off the server, and so I just retyped it 1 week. And I just inserted that B, whatever it ends up being,
Mhm.
where it should have fallen in the handbook had it been, had it been available.
where
in
is
the-
the maternity leave in here?
It's on like page 8 or 9, Todd.
Okay, yeah, B9.
And look at the B.
Page 9.
Everybody says.
Is that B7, page 9?
Yes.
It also says on maternity under the old one, for full-time employees, paternity leave shall be granted as 2 weeks paid leave. But what does that mean? That mean they get 2 weeks paid by the generosity of the city as well? Or do they have to use paid leave such as sick leave or vacation leave? What does that mean? I mean, if you're gonna give the women 6 weeks, you might as well give the men 2.
Hold on.
We don't have.
No, city council, y'all got control over this city. I'm not stupid. I'm just saying right now.
Who is that?
If y'all
I don't know.
Who? Who is that, Lisa?
I need to go up there.
No, Tom will not, because he's talking discrimination and lawsuits, and I've never seen the guy. He said, Huh?
Alright, so let's just.
Oh,
Alright,
okay.
so basically what I'm saying is, I'm getting discriminated, yeah, she got it. I'm getting discriminated against, and I need you to tell this Brian Caldwell, whoever he is, I guess he's a lawyer somewhere in Olathe. Brian Caldwell? I mean, he owns the property, I mean, he pays property taxes. And oh, so good, you the man I need to talk.
It's like, I don't know. Did we move to put this on the next?
We moved to pause our discussion while we have an outside discussion going on at the moment. Well, we really should have a work session to finish this employee handbook.
Did anybody else have
discussions.
any corrections to this?
I had a couple, but they're kind of just little bitty things, so I can probably write them on there.
There's
For the record, once you state what's going on, they interrupted us. So it's at
On
least.
YouTube, they
yeah.
Well, fix up
Just
that
say we have a
now.
visitor.
We,
community
Just that person from the
citizen.
community.
I think you all just said that.
There we go.
And we have a pause in the meeting for the last 5 minutes, and we'll continue until our attorney returns. We have an outsider that came in and is having a discussion with our attorney at the moment. We will proceed shortly. And we'll leave the tape running.
I'm just thinking of if you have thoughts on the handbook and so on and so forth, if you want to forward those, and then I could somehow compile it and maybe highlight Tim's is blue and Justin's purple and
That's
You
great.
know what
I've
I'm
already got
trying
it.
to
I
say?
can totally send
So
it to
just
you.
email that to me, and then I'll try to get something that
I'll do that.
And then can we just print it for the next meeting?
yeah,
And then I
or
think
your work session or whatever.
I don't have a lot to change. And as long as we can hash that last bit out, I'm okay with the
Well,
rest.
I think Justin had some changes. He
I had
sent
one.
he sent some email. There's a lot of typo changes that need to be placed. Those are minor. I think they're minor.
I like blue.
Do you? For the Jayhawks?
Okay. I don't care. I think I have my K-State shirt on today.
For the
too. I
St.
do.
Mary's Bears.
Oh,
Dub Bears.
we'll put it in navy, and then you won't be able to see.
Terry,
Great.
have you ever compared your benefits package to other cities in the county?
Have I compared them? You
See
can't really.
whether you're better or worse?
I don't. The only thing I've looked at is salaries and the number of employees, but it's really hard to compare it in that respect because they all don't have a water plant and they all don't have a gas company.
When we were trying to redo the maternity policy, we were trying to call other cities, but the response that I was hearing is most other cities only have part-time clerks and they weren't available.
On top of, none of them had ever had a pregnant clerk before.
Yeah, most of them were.
So they had no idea how to even
They
approach
had
it.
no policy.
Basically, yeah.
Well,
And
their
they had
policy
never
was
had to
as-
have
well,
one.
I'm
as
had a policy.
antiquated as
I'm a woman city employee too. That just doesn't need to be.
Sorry, I'm not trying to just throw it one way or the other. Sorry. Should have that time off. She shouldn't be in.
But a lot of them were part-time and therefore, they're not covered by full-time benefits.
Is Harveyville and Maple Hill part-time?
Harveyville, they're all part-time employees, maintenance and office, and there's no benefits. You get no sick leave, no vacation, no holiday, no insurance.
Maple Hill has a full-time clerk and a full-time maintenance person, and that's it. And they're paid a yearly salary. They do not, they pay their own insurance.
Yeah, they just got rid of the insurance policy.
They pay their own. You guys have any idea what we pay an employee's insurance every year?
Thousands. $80,000.
60, no. Maybe collectively it might be 60, but I'm talking about each individual.
No, I was just looking at the,
I'd say 10 to 12 a year
I
somewhere in
think
there.
salary.
I think it's over 13 a year.
Benefits
Do you have
around
that figure with you?
$250 million.
I have it somewhere, you say, right?
They had the blue sticky note on it.
So good, 2 days for it, though.
health and dental premiums was 5,900 just for this month.
Yeah, but some of that's like your paid single policy, and then
I need to go for the sign on it.
So closed only Wednesday
Only Wednesday,
during it.
yes.
Yeah, I'm looking for
So-
the payment.
For those who don't read your.
well, this
But swear they
Oh,
do.
so this is
Insurance
the
benefit.
this is the benefit column. This is
Do we need to go bail him out?
No, I think
this is what was deducted
Is it wrapping up?
from their
Check.
You got a phone number, I think
Their
there.
Their share, and this is our share.
correct, and
You
that
want to run that down
includes
here,
the
Jim?
caper share.
We don't
Pardon?
voucher.
I couldn't
These
put it
figures
down.
include the city's share of capers. But this is the insurance benefit.
That's the benefit, yeah, and that includes capers.
Isn't it kind of another side of that?
Is it her salary?
Capers is, yes. The insurance is,
See, this one's throwing me off,
Some beef, something about.
because I had heard that he'd gone from a single
yeah,
payee
well, and that
to
was
a,
22.
I do too.
okay, and so it's a 23% increase for this,
Driveway to the back of them now.
because the 23 premium went up
Oh,
in 2023, January of this
Well,
year,
the December actually,
in
December 1 is
Is
our
where theirs
anniversary.
the
is.
anniversary.
Diagonally.
So
And they've made a road on where Dad knows, like.
you mean you can't make your own road?
So on December 1st every year, guys, the insurance that the city pays for the employees that's when it goes up, starting in on December 1st. So December 1st, the insurance premium that the city had to pay went up 23.5% that the city pays.
Wow. Holy
Yeah,
cow.
it's crazy.
So I can give you an idea. I can tell you the 22 figure. I don't have the 23 figure here. I don't think.
You
Well,
take
it
it times
is, but it's yours.
23%. I bet Justin can calculate that and make some names too.
This is through December. Oh, so this doesn't
Whatever
tell
the
me how much
22
they paid in December, so I don't know what their total
Yeah,
amount.
that's just to December
The
31st.
increase was
Yeah, but the rate went up on
23%.
December
Yeah.
1st. So there's a
So take it
slight
times
problem in that,
23
right?
and
As
add
far as
that to the amount.
detail,
But I could do
yes.
it really quickly.
This would have to get a little more fine tuned because it includes 1 month of the new premium. So this,
What's the 22 figure?
the 22 figure for 12 months, which includes one month of the month of December is the new rate, but it's not broke down January and November and then December. Okay, are you guys
Do
with
you
me
know
on
what the
that?
December rate is?
Yes.
Just December.
No, I don't know what the December rate itself is. I know that on December 1st, the insurance premium went up 23.5%. So for example, with that in mind, the number's going to be a little bit different. And I guess we could find out. It wouldn't be hard to go get a pay stub or two from everybody and find out what they got paid in November and compare that to their December paycheck, and that'd tell us. But we paid insurance for one family for $10,486 a year. Another one was paid that we paid, not them, we did. The other one was $10,434. A second one was the same amount, and another one was $7,552.
Is that the one that's gonna go up to the 10,000 because they're now on the family plan?
don't know. I can't answer that question because I don't know what the January through November payments were. So I can't tell you what the December payment was. The only way I'm going to know that is to know the December payment and multiply that by.
Do you know if the family
12 months from
costs
that point.
different if you have
Yeah.
one kid or 5 kids?
It does not.
So that's
You
what
have
you're saying, close to
employee,
13,000
spouse,
to do it now.
That's what I thought.
employee, family, or,
I did a
no,
little
it doesn't
thing
matter if
with
you have
10
one or
my
10
days.
kids. Did you get him calmed down?
We'll find out, I guess.
Okay.
Well, are we to me now? Have you solved everything else, or do you have another question?
You know, we put everything on pause while you were dealing with our outsider.
Okay,
We didn't want to do anything illegal.
you could.
Idea right there, which I know that the rumors going around town that I was talking about hiring 2 part-time employees to be our city clerk. And that was just a thought that it came to my mind. I wasn't serious about actually going through with it, but it was something that we needed to discuss and decide whether we need to do that or not. But one of the things that we would save is that 12 or 13,000 a year in insurance premiums just for that one position. Just something to keep in the back of your mind if you're wanting to save money for the city. If you don't want to save money for the city because it grows on trees, then let's just give it away. Comments there?
Oh, what time is Brett?
He's in a meeting right now. You want to share your comments with the rest of us?
Absolutely, he kept scooting, Richard moved so he could see, and then Brett was kept scooting over to get the room.
Okay, all right. So as far as the employee handbook goes, do we want to do a work session and finish this out? It sounds to me like we can get it done easily within 2 hours. Or do you want to do it at the council meeting next week or 2 weeks from now?
We could do it next meeting. don't you?
I like the idea of sending our ideas to Lisa and burdening her with compiling them. And
Well, I don't, you heard. I just, like I said, I just take everybody's and highlight, make an index. Michelle's is gonna be pink and Annie's is gonna be, green, and that way then everybody can review it. Is that acceptable, Todd, if I then email that back out?
Do we need to have it highlighted so we know whose idea it was?
That's what I'm gonna do.
No, do we need to do that?
Oh,
Well, it might
Oh.
help because that way you could at least say, somebody sees something that's added and say, why did we do this? And then the person who says, well, I did that, so that.
oh, well, Tim came up with this idea. And I don't like it.
I'm against it.
Because it's glossy oak highlighting on
And
it. So.
that's my
What we
thinking.
said.
That was my thinking, Tim, exactly.
Hey now.
Yeah, it's maybe helps an explanation of who did it if somebody's not here. But no requirement. I don't think it's
no, I was just
Bad
trying to
idea.
maybe facilitate
yeah.
some discussion, but if you don't want highlighted by individuals,
I
I
think
can
that's
just,
fine.
I'm okay with it.
And I won't be here at the next meeting.
Oh, for the love of Pete.
Go to
We
the-
have
who's-
3 people coming in about their properties too.
And I gotta go to KRWA, I'm sorry.
oh, yeah.
So I guess without you, it's hammer down.
Go. Spirit of the rod, spoil the child. That's what I do. So.
If you want Todd to be here, it's April 10th meeting and not the March 27th.
Well, why don't you guys work? I mean, I don't think you guys need me for the personnel meeting. You
Well, he
guys-
didn't make it at this meeting. We can always tell him, oh, look, you can have the next meeting.
Yeah.
But as far as the handbook, I say we all email our ideas to Lisa.
Sounds like a
Or I
plan.
can print it out and mail it to you, whichever method is easier for you. I mean, don't need to, however you want to review it. Just let me know. Once I get all of the comments, then I'll
Then
just,
all we're going to do is review it, but we're not going to pass it forth to each other on email to discuss what
No,
we're
no.
thinking about. Okay.
no, I'm just gonna
Alright.
compile the thoughts and then you guys all have each other's ideas.
I moved to go into executive session for 5 minutes for attorney-client privileges.
I second it.
So what do we decide to do on the handbook? We're going to discuss it at the next meeting?
Or work session.
Well, yeah, just gonna pass it to the next meeting.
I think next meeting's fine. I don't care.
Hey, we need your hand in the air.
Do we need to move
I gotta
to
go
table
shut
that?
the camera off too. So I guess
Do we
I'll
need to
wait.
move to table it? No?
No, you guys have plenty. It was consent
So
of
Tim
council.
moved. Who seconded?
Well, I guess you've already now.
Michelle?
Okay, that's the motion to go into executive.
Are you going to the?
I have to go
ladies?
turn the
8:28.
camera off.
Okay,
I'll move it to 8:28 to 8:33.
Okay,
That's
got a
what I
motion
wanted.
to go into executive session for attorney-client privilege by Tim, seconded by Michelle. Those in favor? We're going to executive
Turn
session.
the recorder off.
Thank you, ladies.
Pause.